Welcome to BodyWork.
Please fasten your seatbelts.
I had 11 Olympians and over 800 national champs. And all those men, they wouldn't do half the work that she do. And I'm seeing it from the young ladies. These last 2 years, when you think about it, all the good fights is coming from the women. The guys is ducking each other, looking for the easy way. Hey, I'm telling you like it is, you know? So again, you know, this young lady done did everything I asked of her, and she did more. And I'm watching all the young ladies that's boxing now. It's like they trying to prove they better than men. Now, we knew they was kind of there, but now they showing that they mean. You know, in the old days in Philly, we call these guys crazy. And that's the way these women are. So when you go back home, speak nice to you.
Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to BodyWork Boxing. And it is a lovely day in the neighborhood, man. It's the morning after. I saw my take of things, you know, that I saw, you know, a lot of opinions floating around, a lot of robbery talk. There's a lot of, you know, it's knee-jerk reaction Sundays. Everybody has a knee-jerk reaction. I tend to like to sit back and, you know, hear what everybody have to say, you know, and just do some digging and make sure that, you know, before I really respond to something, I actually really look at it from a lot of different angles, or at least a couple different angles. Let me put it like that. Let me not try to be so deep. But let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and play a little bit. But yeah, it's knee-jerk reaction Sundays, man. I'd like to thank everybody who enters the building. You know what I'm saying? Salute the Mighty King Boxing. What's happening with you, man? The thumbnail is fire, man. Knee-jerk reaction Sundays. So we had a lot of things going on. We had Ebony Bridges and O'Connell. Probably was the fight of the night, maybe the fight of the month. Once again, we got Martin King back up in the building. Crawford gets everybody up out of there. Black crime. Yeah, man, he did his job, man. He did his job, you know. He dispatched the man. You know, when I look at it, since I'm an X's and O's kind of guy, you know, standing in a orthodox stance, and Bud was closer to him with the reach advantage. This man tried to throw a 2 in that stance, and Crawford caught him. That's why I say, man, he's in my boxes to watch collection. I call him the closer if you don't know. So, you know, if there's any holes in your game, he gonna figure it out. You know what I'm talking about? So I didn't expect nothing less, you know. I was thinking that he had a lot to lose. He had more of the pressure on him than anybody else, you know. So you know, he rose to the occasion, man. He showed out in front of his, you know, he lived out a childhood dream, man. I mean, shoot, who can bring somebody, you know, out there to your, you know, the place where you grew up with, you know, get a bag, you know, you can walk away from undisputed, man. I think Bud, man, in a lot of ways, because of that one little belt, it's almost like the tongue, man. How powerful is that small little tongue? That small little belt. He has so much leverage with it, man. I just hope he come on in, because if he don't come on in, man, he's gonna hold up 147. You know what I'm talking about? You have any clue what I'm talking about? Is Bud gonna come back in? Is he gonna do the thing, man? Is he gonna let it be known that he wants some of that Errol Spence? Martin King Boxer say Crawford IQ is 676 reach, and a scientist on how to break anybody down. I think he fought in the phone booth in some ways. Yeah, we know you an advocate, Martin King, man. You are an advocate, man. You stand in the gap for some Bud, man. I just want to know when we gonna get Bud in a 50-50 fight. Riddle me that, Batman. Riddle me that, Batman. Is it such a Herculean task to get that man Bud in a 50-50 fight with somebody? Anybody? Spence got in another wreck. I don't think he's going to be undisputed at this point, man. Stop it, man. The man was walking around taking pictures and all that, man. Why do we do that? You see, Bud, this is what I don't like. This is what I don't like. I notice how when it comes to Spence, man, everybody want to point out the negative. The first thing you want to say is the man got in a wreck. Now you want to just big up Bud on his IQ. Now because Spence got in a car accident, now he ain't going to be. Stop it, man. Stop. Your biasness is showing. Your biasness is showing, man. I just call it like it is. I just call it like I see it. Was Ugas a 50-50 fight? I'm not, see, everything is deflection. I didn't ask nothing about Spence. I didn't even bring him up. This is what Bud Crawford fans do. I was talking about Bud. Spence didn't have a fight. This is what y'all do, man. I'm not gonna waste my whole segment, man, like talking to nobody who want us to just get down on our knees for Bud. We don't do that over here, man. We don't have any knee pads. We got the knee pads for sale, but we ain't wearing them. We not talking about all that, man. All right, Martin King, man. This might not be the live for you, homie. Might not be the live for you, man. Anyways, man. Right back at you right here, right now with another one, man. It's me. You know, I want to talk some boxing, man, with some boxing heads, man. And, you know, we had a lot going on, man. I'll get to the Bud, shenanigans. You know, I'll get to the Bud shenanigans a little bit later, as I build up to it. You know, we'll at least try to have some balance in here, man. But we not gonna be, you know, we not gonna gobble on no cock over here when it come to Bud, man. I asked one question. I gave him a salute for getting rid of the man. You know, I said he did what he was supposed to be doing, man. And now now everything is going over to Spence. We wasn't even talking about Spence. I'm just saying, can we get the fight? You know, I mean, that's all I want to say. Like, we know he's the closer. I say he's the closer. You know what I'm saying? But hey, you're welcome to go somewhere else, Martin King, man. If you like, man, you know how I rock. I'm not gonna sit up here and get on Bud. We not gonna do that, man. We not gonna do that. Bye, homie. Anyways, man, Ebony Bridges, she fought O'Connell, man. I think that might have been the fight of, man, least fight of the quarter so far. Definitely fight of the night. And Ebony Bridges, man, she's a tough cookie. She had the 1-2 going. You know, she can land at will. She can get rid of you on it. You know, I was watching that fight, and I want to say something about her opponent, O'Connell, man. O'Connell, she could have got rid of Ebony with that right, but the only thing about her is after the first round, she was done after the first round as far as conditioning. She didn't have no zap on her punches, but she had came dangerously close to actually stopping Ebony a couple times, man. But Ebony is a tough cookie. You know what I'm saying? She's a warrior. She got grit. She's a dog. You know, she's a warrior. She got grit. She's a dog. She's a tough out, man. I don't really see how I really don't see how she fares with I think they was mentioning Chantel Cameron. I'm not sure, you know, because I'm thinking, man, somebody that might have had some conditioning. Somebody that might have had some conditioning might have been able to get with her a little bit better, man. But O'Connell, man, like for her to have gassed out after the first and fight that whole fight the way she did, you know, and at the very end, I thought, man, did she happen to pull it off? Did she survive long enough just to get in that 1 or 2 hitter quitter? You know how you just got that last little, you know what I'm saying? Like it's pretty much after you done shot all the shells out the shotgun, you done emptied the clip on the Ruger. You know they you know you back there in the corner in the closet with the starter pistol, man. You only got 1 shot left, man. That's what it came down to, O'Connell, and she just didn't have anything at the end. Nice stoppage, you know what I'm saying? Salute to that fight. Across the pond, that was pretty much the thing. The Warrington fight, I watched it, you know what I'm saying? It had some moments in it, but one thing that I realized about over there fighting across the pond, man, they actually have a specialty in it, man. It's dirty boxing. It's things that you could do in boxing to where if you can actually get away with it. Some veterans, some people call it veteran savvy. If you can do some things like punch right off the clinch, you know, you could do that. Or, you know, like when your opponent is down, you know, let's say y'all get tied up and for whatever reason they bend at the waist, you can like wrench on their neck. You know, sometimes it's an arm on one side and the ref is over there on that side and they don't see you. You kind of wrench, you get the wrenching of the arms. You know, of course, it's extra low blows in the clinch, especially if the ref on the left and you got your hand on the right, you could hit somebody in the jewels. But I noticed that across the pond, the reason why across the pond, it's not always a necessary foregone conclusion that, you know, a U.S. guy can get rid of somebody across the pond. But where some of the opportunities are is sometimes the ones across the pond, they do that, they got that little dirty, that little rough style to where just if you want everything to be clean and fluid, and you know, if you want a clean apron, so to speak, you want a nice clean boxing match, one of them foreign guys will come in, man, with their tactics and their veteran savvy, man, and rough you up. And I just saw a lot of roughhousing. I seen a headbutt in that Warrington fight, and they went on to talk about how Warrington always, you know, seems to always come on the better end of a stick when it comes to headbutt situations, you know, accidental colliding of heads, you know, in the clinch. And so, you know, some people was booing. It was kind of quiet. I think more so it was more people out there to actually see Warrington, you know, being from Leeds and all that, defending the belt and all that, wanting them to see him win. So they were not really happy with the verdict. I think something happened in the middle rounds when I was switching over. I was watching DAZN on my phone, and then I went on to watch it on the TV. But when I do that, it'll actually act like I'm trying to watch it from 2 different locations. So I always got to cut my phone off. I turn my phone completely off to make it unconnect from DAZN, and then I turn on the TV. And I don't know what happened from by the time I hooked it back up and I got to I'm looking at it round by round by round. They kept saying that I guess Silas or whatever his name is, Lopez or whatever, he was up so far, and what could Josh Warrington do, man? But that was a good fight across the pond that took place. Let's see what this man talking about. I'm going to rewatch Top Rank Forrester Let Loose early. Big Baby Anderson has to go to the UK immediately. All right, we could transition over into that. Yeah, Big Baby is one of my guys that I'm looking for. I'll be checking for as far as, you know, the future and what's next, you know, in the heavyweight division. I can say that he is a cerebral guy. You know, he can, you know, fight left. He can fight from orthodox or southpaw position. He does have power. He has a relentless motor. I don't believe that he's going to be able to be he can't afford to be able to get hit the way he got hit early last night. Now, he got clocked like 4 times, like a good 4 times, and because that was a question. That's what everybody want to know when it comes to like the boots. You know, people who we're real high on, but we haven't really seen get cracked yet, like a Keyshawn or a Boots or, you know, maybe even a Shakur. We haven't really seen anybody, but it's not one of the things that you go out and seek. It's just like, okay, well, we just don't know until it happens. But we know Big Baby got a chin. We know Fabio Wardley got a chin. Both of them brothers actually, you know what I'm saying, they get slapped in the beard, you know what I'm saying, and then they come back and they like, man, they turn all the way up. It was like a dog came out. He went relentless. I mean, he threw so many, I think he threw like 140 something punches. He was 43%, you know, in the 47%, I think, in the first round. You can't take that kind of punishment from a big man. That man is 6'4", solid. You know what I'm saying? Kind of cut, not like a athletic muscular build, but like cut, big, solid. You know what I'm saying? I think he like 22. He not even like all the way where he gonna be yet, which is a nightmare, man. I think people are kind of scared to actually, you know, jump on that bandwagon right now or give that man his praises, because, you know, it would represent that you're being disloyal to another heavyweight. But you can't stop the inevitable. It's just like Boots. You can't stop the inevitable, man. You can't stop these guys, and until proven otherwise, they look every bit of what they're being advertised as. Killers. They come in with the mask. They say, hey man, I want to be in there and out like a robbery. You know, him and Boots, they got that thing going on. He got the owl. Shakur got the owl. It's like, it's the synergy behind them young guys. It's a movement right now that if you don't know about these young guys, get familiar. You got to get familiar, baby. Let's see. Martin King. He's got USA recognition, but in order to get in the mix for better recognition, is UK boxers or he fighting just to do ring entrances? Yeah, I mean, he doing what he need to do right now. He's in the building phase. He's like he got like 12 fights. You know, heavyweight division is one of them ones where you make the wrong matchup. One wrong matchup to see you on a whole different trajectory. So he's being built, you know. I think he's stepping up. That was a name. You know, that was a name. That guy had been in there with a lot of different people. And they said he hadn't got stopped before. So I mean, we gotta give credit where credit is due, man. Let's see. Big Baby just Big Baby just as good for knockouts. He's visibly just out working these boxers. Yeah, I mean, that's what he did in that situation. We got to see different competitors. We got to see him step up. We got to see him with somebody with some lateral movement, you know, with, you know, respectable power. You know, somebody that's a little bit more defensively sound, even though this guy hasn't been stopped before. So I'm going to give him his credit. Moving on to Keyshawn Davis. I recently heard the whole thing about, him and Jermell Charlo. You know, he had some words for Jermell Charlo, and I was saying, no, look, young pup, man, build up your foundation. Get some victories, you know what I'm saying? Get some more things on that resume before you call out the big dog like Jermell. A stone collector who went by and picked up those stones one by one from everybody, who reigns undisputed at 154. Simmer down on the talk. But what he did do last night was he let all his talking be done inside the ring. He looked like the prototype last night. You know, I don't know if it was the opponent, but I had said earlier on, I think it was like in the second round, Teddy Atlas, he always talk about silent agreements, and I think that guy, Buddy, had made a silent agreement that he didn't want none of the smoke very early. He said, I don't want none of the smoke very early. You know, he was not that offensive. They kept saying, man, his corners kept just saying, let his hands go, but it just looked like one of them little voodoo dolls, man, that you got in your hand and where you could just poke wherever you want. That's what Keyshawn did, man. Keyshawn turned that man into a voodoo doll, man, just poking that man wherever you want. Bread basket, upside the left temple, upside the right temple, you know what I'm saying, sternum, you know, uppercut, you know, and he was really trying to set that uppercut. That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to get a highlight reel uppercut. I don't know if Keyshawn gonna be able to get away with doing the whole AI in the middle of boxing, you know, but it showed that he was in his zone, and we could see when he actually got locked in. So that was a good fight. That was a statement victory. You know, he got something on paper. You know, he got some more cachet because of the things that he talk, and he say he the businessman. So I think he's one of the young gentlemen, man, that we got to give the benefit of the doubt. We got to start, you know, looking for this guy to, you know, get more names. They're not going to rush him. You know, they shouldn't, because like I said, one wrong matchup would be devastation. But, you know, he keep talking that talk like he want all of the smoke, you know. So we got to see him with somebody better, because that guy went 12 rounds with Mikey Garcia. So, you know, he went 12 rounds with Mikey Garcia, and Mikey Garcia can box, you know. So he boxed circles around AB. So, you know, Keyshawn did his thing. Tiger Johnson did his thing. It's almost like he went in the zone. Now, I saw originally with Tiger, Buddy was exceptional. His nickname was Bad Man, the guy that he was fighting, and he was a sneaky bad man, because if he had a little bit more oomph, man, he was sending that right straight down the pike, a short right, you know, and he was timing it. I just think that he kept losing in the exchange. And you could see that the work that Tiger was doing, man, some of that looked like how when boots go off and he start emptying that clip, Tiger started letting them hands go, hitting from all different angles, you know, with power, precision. You know, I think he got to work on, I don't know if it's like keeping his head on the line after he throws, or, you know, dipping or rolling out, like his escape. He got to get, you know, he got to fine tune his escape a little bit more. But right now, man, stand in front of that guy right now, and the pace and the rate that he's working, and the skill level and the poise that he's showing, he's a very dangerous guy. I was disappointed that Shushu's fight got pulled. You know, I was really looking forward to him. I think he's like him and Abdullah Mason, them two young boys, man, they surgical. You know, so I was kind of disappointed that Shushu couldn't, you know, get on. A little disappointed that Jihad wasn't able to be seen, you know, but they'll be back. You know what I'm saying? I think Jihad done had a growth spurt or something, man. The dude got big, so he got to figure out, you know, what he gonna do, and what size he gonna be, and figure out how to manage the weight, or if he gonna cut it right or whatever, because, you know, you don't want to hurt yourself and you want to be full. But both of them guys got real bright futures, so I'm not really concerned. Just would like to have seen them. Let's see, I think I read that. I read all of those comments. But yeah, let's talk about Teo. A lot of people are actually saying that this fight was a robbery. I don't agree. Teo actually won the fight, and I'm gonna tell you why it looked the way it looked. The fight looked the way it looked because Sandar Martin was more accurate than Teo, but he was not as active. So Teo had to bring the fight to Sandor. And percentage-wise, they was kind of like neck and neck, I think, all night for the most part, except for like, I think like around the 7th round or something like that, and the knockdown. The knockdown separated. If Teo would have got, you know, if Teo would have got deemed as having been knocked down the second time, then it would have been a different story. as far as the scorecards. But I actually had, I think I had it 90. What I had it? I had the score. Let me see. Let me get my little cheat sheet. A little cheat sheet out, y'all. I had it 96-94. I had it 96-94. Now the judges, they had it 94-95. Sandor, 96-93. Teo, 97-92. I don't agree with the 97-92. I had it 96-94. And it's so crazy that I had me and King Amin had a live the other day, and we were talking about judging and how you judge fights, right? And he asked me, he said, man, he said one of the criteria they don't use, which is right up your alley. He said, why they don't use it? And guess what he was talking about? He was talking about body work. That was the difference in the fight. I don't know if people really realize that, but let me show y'all the statistics that actually reveals, you know, what this fight was really about and what it came down to. See, Sandor Martin wasn't active enough, even though he was more accurate. So when he threw, he landed. He wasn't accurate enough to actually warrant a win against Teo. The knockdown would have helped. The second knockdown would have helped as well. But the reason why they excused that knockdown was because they said it was cupping or behind the head. So Teo actually got the benefit of the doubt, but that was really like the second knockdown and the check hook. So had they not, if they would have scored that knockdown, that would have changed the whole complexion of the fight, that second one, or the outcome of the scores, definitely. But he didn't get credit for it because it was behind the head. That's what they deemed. But the big picture in this fight was the body work. The big deciding factor in this fight was the body work. And I'm going to tell you why. The total punches for Lopez, it was 391. He landed 97. 55 to the body. 55 to the body. So he was more active. He threw 391. Sandor Martin only threw 244. He landed 77. He only landed 11 punches to the body. That's 31%. So this is the story. Sandor Martin was more accurate. He landed at 31%. Teofimo landed at 24%. So Sandor Martin was more accurate, but Teo was more active because Sandor's 31% equated to 77 punches. Teo's 24% equated for 97, but 55 of them landed to the body, and Sandor didn't. He only landed 11 to the body. Jabs, they really didn't have no jab. The jab was really non-existent, but Teo at least threw 171 jabs. Wasn't that accurate with it because it was only 12.3%. He only landed 21 and eight jabs to the body. Sandor threw 125. He landed 32. Again, he was more accurate because he landed 25%. But his activity in jabs, he landed 11 more jabs than Teo. And half of what Teo landed to his body. It was 8 Teo's way, 4 jabs to the body. Power punches. This is the thing. This is the big one right here. This is the stat that nobody's looking at that will actually tell you the story. Like if you didn't watch the fight, but you looked at this, you know, because I'm looking at CompuBox. I got CompuBox right here. You look up CompuBox, this is going to actually tell you. This is why you can't just listen to the commentary. You got to use your eyeballs and look at what you see, but then you got to go back and you got to look at the numbers. This is the key to this whole story, and this is why it's not really up to debate. It was a close fight. It wasn't a blowout, but this is why. Power punches. Teo threw 220 power punches. Sandor Martin threw 119. So that's 101 more power punches thrown. So Teo was more active. Sandor was more accurate because he landed at 37.8%. Teo landed at 34%. So he was more accurate at 3%. But that's accuracy. That's like how effective or efficient he is with his punches. As far as him throwing and him landing, he had a higher accuracy. That still only equated to him hitting Teo with 45 power shots. Teo hit him with 76 power shots. Once again, this is where the big discrepancy is when it comes to, and this is what I'm all about, the body work. When it comes to power punches, Sandor Martin only landed 7 power punches to the body. That means hooks, uppercuts, anything like that, anything but a jab. He only landed 7 power punches to the body. Teo landed 47 power punches to the body. That was the difference in the fight. So yes, even though Sandor Martin was more accurate than Teofimo Lopez and he had the knockdown, Teofimo outworked him and outlanded him in the grand scheme of things. That's just a testament to how Teo needs to polish up on his technique and his skills. The jab was non-existent. I just read that off to you. But that's what attributed to the win. And if you saw what happened, yes, if he would have got attributed with that second knockdown, a lot of people probably would be saying that Sandor Martin won. He didn't get attributed with that. But his activity, you can fight off the back foot if that's your style. But if you're gonna fight like that and be the counter puncher at some point in time, you're gonna have to crank up your volume. Because it's almost like you're trying to coast to victory. So if the judges perceive it, because it got to be aggression and then it got to be effective aggression. Teo had showed aggression, how effective it wasn't that effective at time, but his activity, the fact that he was still throwing punches, he has to learn how to cut the ring off. He has to learn how to make some kind of adjustments. I looked to the corner, Senior did give some good instruction, but what Teo was looking for in being lights out Lopez, that didn't happen last night. Andre Ward spoke to the fact that the fighter that you are that actually win fans over, to actually get them over on your side, the one that you are and you show them to actually get them on your side, the same fighter that you have to be all the time. It's the same reason why Tank got so much slack that time when he fought Cruz with his hand and he didn't get the job done. A lot of people saying, oh man, because they're used to seeing him knock people out. So Teo has been labeled as a knockout artist. Me and my man King Amin from the championship rounds, we was kicking it yesterday, and I told him I wanted to see Teo box. He boxed, but there's some holes in his game. Is he ready for Regis right now? No. He's not ready for Regis right now. Not this level of Regis, especially not having to fight somebody like Jose Zepeda. Is he ready for Jose Zepeda? I think that would be a good fight. Is he ready for a Pedraza? I think Pedraza saw some things on film that he think he might be able to exploit. Now, the only thing is with Teo is that he is more explosive and he does have that, like that Cobra in him. It's like a sudden quick strike, and it's something that he does to where it makes people really not want to come in and commit too much. So we did see Sandor moving, using his lateral movement, taking that half a step back that Tim Bradley told us about 1,000 times. And salute to Tim Bradley for making the Hall of Fame, man. Salute to him. That's a incredible feat. It's something that his his family and his children can look up to. So salute to him for that. You know what I'm saying? I know I get on Tim a lot about the commentary sometimes, but the man got into the Hall of Fame, man. So salute to him for that. But Tim was pointing out that he was pointing out that Sandor Martin had that subtle half a step back. And Shakur does it well, Earl Spence does it well. Some of the greats, Inouye does it very well. Bam Rodriguez, he does it well. It's some fighters, Tank does it well. They have this step back, to create space. Like Earl Spence got a step back uppercut that when he get in the groove and do it, it's like hard because you so used to him hitting you with that jab. You thinking that when he step back, he gonna come back forward with the jab. So you guarding up there, you looking at that, and he just come up like hit you with the uppercut. It's something that really has to be, you really have to train and master it, and really master your distance, because if you get caught, a lot of times when you throwing them punches and you out of position, that's when you're in your most vulnerable state. So, let's see. Wanda King says he had it a draw. Lopez was the aggressor. Lopez is trash. Shane Martin ran. Draw would have been suffice, or I guess he's saying sufficient. That unanimous decision was biased. Run it back. It wasn't a unanimous decision. Somebody actually had Sandor up 95-94. It was the actually separation in the gap. It might not have necessarily been the 96-93. It might not have been the 96-93, even though I had it 96-94. It was the 97 to the 92 is what everybody was actually really like in shock about, So, but the thing is, man, Sandor didn't go to the body, and Teo looked like he was bringing the fight to Sandor. And I don't know why Sandor didn't realize that when he chose to be first, he could touch Teo. Teo has good reflexes, but for guys like Teo and Devin, I don't think that the shoulder roll is the best thing. Like, I mean, you get in there with somebody who really knows what they're doing against somebody in the Philly shell. Both of them brothers need to be in high guard. They need to be in the hard guard. That whole, I think in a way, I'm not saying blame Floyd. I'm just saying people's desire to be like Floyd is actually leading some of these young fighters whose gift of athleticism, can lend them to do things early on in their career, a la Teo. His reflexes and his power allow him to get away with things to where even if somebody was on his same skill set, whatever skill set that is, his reflexes and his power was allowing him to do things that as he goes up in competition and the skill set get better, that athleticism and speed, what we're seeing right now in these last two fights, it's not going to equate unless his skill gets a little bit better. He needs to be more polished. It's the way that he goes in. He needs the jab. Does he need to leave his father? I wouldn't say lead his father. Maybe let somebody else take the reins. Let somebody have a more dominant say in what's going on with his career. I always say, man, people shot me down when I said it, but I've been saying, man, you need to go get with Kevin Cunningham. I know they call him the Southpaw Whisperer, but man, if Cunningham, I mean, I know he wouldn't be able to go over there with Derrick James, and do nothing like that, but like Kevin Cunningham, if a Kevin Cunningham got his hand on Teo and Teo actually bought into his system and discipline, and you allow him to work out them mechanics, I think he'd be a lot better off. I would even look at Mikey Garcia. I mean, we saw when AJ started implementing some of those things, he had some success with Usyk. It was just his first one out under Robert Garcia, which is the brother. Robert Garcia. When he was training AJ, you saw some of the success he was able to have on Usyk. He just didn't. It was one fight out after that, and he couldn't implement everything that he actually learned. So, let's see. Lopez strike me as hard to deal with. He is similar to Wilder in how his delusionalness is a part of his DNA. He young, man. It's a stressful. I'm not making no excuses for him. You can't stop these guys. Like, you can't stop these guys from saying what they're saying now. Like, being like Floyd, once again, where Floyd had the mouthpiece. He had the skills to pay the bills inside the ring, but then he had the mouthpiece to actually get people to come and buy seats. in the venue. And these guys think that because it's freedom of speech and, you know, a lot of times the endorphins be flowing, you know, they're not. I think T.O., his brain probably is just now kind of getting to where 25 is when it's all settled in. So this guy, you know, that's why I was cautioning Keyshawn and T.O. about, you know, I was saying that less is more sometimes when it comes to speaking out there, because when you get a couple people that, you know, pointing out and saying that, hey, they don't like you or they don't rock with you, or depending on who rocks with them, they can lead a lot of people to start shitting on you. And depending on how you react to it and the thing that you say is going to depend whether or not they're going to actually give you the grace you need to get to where you need to be. So T.O. need to take some time. You know, it was good to see that he had, you know, his lady and his son with him. You know, that was a good sign. You know, hopefully they can keep it together. It's not going to be one of them make up to break up type things, even though I don't like to get personal. But it's good to see a man with his family. It's good to see a man walk away with the victory over Sandar. Sandar Martin is not anything to shake a stick at. And I think that he learned something as well. So maybe T.O. learned about that subtle step back. Maybe T.O. learned that, you know, maybe he doesn't have the longest arm reach, and he must use his jab to punch his way in effectively. Because Tank don't have the longest arms in the world, but he finds a way to get inside the right way. That's why I think a lot of people don't, you know, they don't give Tank the credit he need when it comes down to boxing. Because if you put Tank in there with a guy like Sandor Martin, man, maybe 3 rounds, it would have been a wrap. I mean, 3 rounds would have been a wrap. That little check hook, that wouldn't have done nothing. He would have figured out how to escape. You know what I'm saying? Bing, bing, and then escape, roll out, pivot, change the angle. You know what I'm saying? Attack a different part. You know, I seen him trying to paw at the jab, but I think it was more of actually showing that I could touch your glove more than actually really like pawing it to, you know, to set something up off of it. He wasn't doing none of that. So it's just a lot of, I think that it's some fine tuning. I mean, I would even say, man, T.O., look, man, go down there and get with Bozy. It's a father-son dynamic. You know, y'all can say, hey, man, you know, y'all can make however it works as far as y'all, you know, exchange the peas or the shillings, however that work, man. They got Boots, you know, and Bozy, they got a relationship. Bozy got a relationship with actually having to, you know, raise his sons and groom his sons who used to box. He used to box. Maybe some of that can rub off on Senior. Maybe I can get some of that, you know, but a lot of T.O.'s issues, it's not the athleticism, it's the technique. That's his biggest problem. Poor technique. Absolute poor technique. You know, but where he was able to get, you know, and who he's been able to beat, it's a testament to where, man, it's kind of scary that man is still that raw, but can still do some of the things that he's doing. So he got some work to do. But Aaron Jones. Yeah, salute to Aaron Jones. He need a trainer, bro. That's what I was saying, man. I said, man, like, he can go down there and get with Bozy because Bozy got the father-son dynamic, and he's a trainer. You know, and he has experience with it before. He can go get with, I would say, Kevin Cunningham. I've been saying Kevin Cunningham because he's a disciplinarian. He's not going to allow you to get away from his system. If you got to buy into his system. You know, if you want to stick, you know, he's Honduran. I know Robert Garcia is Mexican. If you want to stick with some Latin spice, you know what I'm saying, an old Latin connection, call Robert Garcia. Man. If you buy into the system, man, you'll be a lot better. You know, he just needs somebody that's going to actually, you know, tighten him up. Get him to, like, you know, stay within the confines of a certain game plan, and then, you know, actually have the confidence, because, you know, they really exploited what he said at the end of the fight when he was looking, and that's why I really kind of respect him, man, because he's a realist at the end of the day. He looked and said, do I still got it, man? He looked at these people and said, do I still got it? That just means that something happened with his psyche, man. Something's going on in his broke eye. That's a little broke eye, so he needs to, he don't need to go right into a Regis fight. You don't need to go into a Regis fight. He really don't. He don't need to go into a Regis fight right now. I will be cautious about a Jose Zepeda right now. The Pedraza fight looking more appetizing. He finally came out and said something about Kambosos. I don't know if he'd be willing to cut down some weight, because then that'll be, people will crucify him if you cut down and go back down to 35 at this point. So I don't know how that fight, but he's finally saying he want to get his get back with Kambosos. I don't know if it's just talk. I don't know if it's based on a performance last night. Got to remember that these people shove mics down these boxers' faces immediately after they got hit upside the head. They done went through some drama, so maybe he might not feel that way. I know I saw him back in the gym training this morning. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, which means that he's willing to do it now. And the technique and everything that's going along in the training, maybe that was just to get in there and be active and not let yourself sit around in the dump. Get those endorphins flowing. So that was a good sign to see him, but he needs to get a new trainer. Aaron Jones said, Tank is right, though. Top rank, pump your head up until they can't no more. Yeah, man. I seen when Tank said that. I seen when Tank actually said that. Here, I'm gonna put this in here. I'll put the link in the chat, man, if you want to get up here and, anything I'm talking about, anything just be respectful. Just be respectful. That's all I ask. We don't edit anybody. You can speak your mind. No weirdo stuff. Marty King says, how is Tink Tank a lightweight and he ain't fought nobody? He ducked Lomachenko for years and now he claiming he the best since sliced bread. I don't know, man. I don't even think you really follow Tank, man. That's why it's kind of hard to take you serious, Martin King, because Tank ain't never said he was the best thing since sliced bread. He ain't even say that. He even saying he refused to look past Hector Garcia right now because, for Ryan, but everybody else is doing videos and commentary about the Ryan fight, because that's what everybody else want to see. He's not even doing that. So I don't know. Oh man, but if I could finally, let's see, Aaron John, bro, I thought Tank don't talk and he's scared. Yo, dog, I've been following Tank since my LGBT 2016 days. This ain't new to me. Well, you're not a promoter. You're not an advocate for Tank. You're not an advocate for Spence. You're not an advocate for anybody opposite of Bud. You're not an advocate of Tio. I don't know what to tell you, man. It was a lot of good boxing on, man. Anything good besides Bud? Besides Bud, was anything good? Hey, Aaron Jones, did you watch that? Did you watch that Bud? Did you get to see that Bud? That Bud smoke? I've been waiting to see the call out. I know when Earl got in the ring in his fight, he got out there and said who he wanted next and what he wanted to do. That's what Earl did. I thought I would have been seeing videos all over the place with Bud, calling somebody out, but I didn't see none of that. But yeah, man, it was a good day of boxing, man. I'm gonna go through my notes and see what I got for y'all, man. But I think from what I seen last night, man, it's clear who's the man in each division, if you ask me. It's kind of clear. It's starting to become etched in stone. Let's see. To be honest, I didn't see it, LOL. I ain't even ready to lie. Yeah, man. I wasn't getting it, but... Oh, Big Baby. What I like about Big Baby, man, he said everybody with an O gotta go. And he got up there and he actually called names. He said Michael Hunter, Daniel Dubois. Those are the two biggest names I heard him say. Oh, Herkovich. I think he said Herkovich he wanted as well. Tank is a manufactured lightweight, bro. He just looks good, but not fighting an elite. Yeah, but 47%, man. Jared Anderson was at 47% after the first round, man. It's like that tells the story, man. Once you start getting up around 40, 44, 43%, you know, and landing, it's not gonna look good, man. It tells the story all the time. I like Big Baby. He should have signed with Showtime. Oh, he called out Frank Sanchez. You know, I guess it's really just a preference on who you like. I mean, if you know, I don't know what would be the reason. Do you think Aaron Jones? Do you think that PBC? Because you think PBC matched their opponents up tougher? Big Baby got pay-per-view potential. Yeah, he always got a little costume. But yeah, what's a great matchup? But yeah, man, he definitely got pay-per-view potential. He's with the right people. He with Jay Prince and them. You know, iron sharpen iron, because he was actually sparring with Shakur not too long ago. You know, they keep saying, you know, I keep hearing somebody say that he put the flu flops. He put the flu flops on Tyson Fury in sparring. You know, I don't know. I mean, it is sparring. Guys be working on certain things, but the fact that nobody's coming out really to stomp, really like just wholeheartedly jump up and down with 2 feet, you know, in the air and stomp that rumor out, man. It might have been a little bit of truth in that, man. We don't know. You know, I'm one of the ones that like sparring. I like sparring to be sparring. You know what I'm saying? I like what happens in sparring stays in sparring. That's just me. That's just the philosophy that I always thought it was, you know. But let's see. Oh, Modern King said Frank Sanchez or Herkovich for Jared Anderson. Yeah, I think they on a crash course to actually. I think it's either Frank on the other side of the pond. It's either Daniel Dubois or Fabio Wardley. Them the young guys, the young heavyweights over there that I think is on a crash collision to see Big Baby. You know, some people were saying F.A. Ajagba, is he ready for something like that? Because F.A. Ajagba got a, you know, he got a dangerous right hand too. Aaron Jones, he probably was hitting Fred with overhand lefts, and he got power. Yeah. I think if he work on technique just a little bit more and torque, and then, you know, he got to polish his defense up though, because, you know, getting cracked by the right person like 4 times like that man must got a nice chin. He got a beard. You know what I'm saying? Because getting cracked like that, you know, that early, he might not be able to deal with somebody else that could hit that hard. But I think he one of the ones to where if you touch him right, a la Tank, a la Bud, you know, some of these guys, like once you touch him and you wake him up, it kind of, you know, piss him off. Let's see, Modern King. I favor Anderson versus Dubois just because Anderson is more agile. It can give Dubois looks he never seen before. I agree. I mean, I've seen Dubois get hit though. I mean, I think Dubois offensively he's good, but defensively, man. And I don't know about his beard. Aaron Jones, yeah, his defense is terrible. Modern King Boxing, regular belt champion Jared Anderson has to sacrifice. Aaron Jones, yeah, his defense is terrible. I think it needs work. You know, I think we just was able to see that. I think we just were able to see that maybe he's one of them people like my man be saying. Maybe his offense is his defense to a certain extent. Because people know they have to be cautious because, you know, if you miss on him, he's going to make you pay. And if he catch you right, you're going to have to get in position, you know, and then his suddenness to me, for him to be so big, that's what's so scary because it looks like once he hits you, he can actually get or place his feet in a position to gain maximum torque and leverage like quickly. It ain't, you know, he don't move like these you know, basically when they say these heavyweights have their feet in cement, he don't move like he got his feet in cement, man. He can pick them up and put him down. I just think that he got to work on after he attack, he got to work on his escape. Like Tio, he got to work on his escape or his exit strategy, and he can't be right there on the line when he get done. He got to stick, move, pivot, you know what I'm saying, roll, like give a, you know, so, but, you know, it's just something that, you know, we'll see whether or not he tighten up, but I think the man has a big future, man, a big, bright future, man. He's very smart. You can't trick him in interviews. You can ask him in real time, man. He's not slow at all in any aspect, inside the ring or outside the ring. He knows what he's doing. They have a plan for him. I think that he's actually, you know, he's going to be a people's champ because it's hard not to like him. He don't really give you anything that you don't really like. It's nothing really see. He don't say anything that's crazy or out the way. You know, he does have his confidence, you know, like the young guys, but he's not, I don't think he overdo it. He's calling out the names. He's being respectful in doing it, but he letting them know, I want all of this smoke. So I'm looking forward to him getting his shot, you know, maybe with an FA, maybe with a Frank. Is he ready for a Frank Sanchez? I mean, he's saying he is. You know, he's saying he is. Frank Sanchez can box now. Yo, them Cubans, man. But he's one of my guys, man. He's in my League of Shadows, man. I actually started doing a Boxers to Watch collection on him already, man. And that's rare because he's still early, but he is definitely one of my boxers to watch. He's in my League of Shadows as well, as far as, you know, some people that might not be, like, their name might not come up in every conversation, but when their name comes up, it rings bells. You know, I was just thinking that maybe I can get on here and, you know, just go over the landscape, man. I think 140, I think Regis is a cornerstone. You know, we got some things to see from Regis. I think that at 135, Tank is that guy. I believe heavyweight, who knows right now? Who really knows right now? I mean, we gotta let Fury and Usyk ultimately do their thing. You know, Usyk got some business going on. We seen Ammo Williams and, you know, what's his name, Cash. They went back and forth. You know, Cash pushed him. I don't know why he was being like that. You know, I don't really think he want that smoke, but he, you know, they really building that up, and I think Ammo is going to knock him out when they get in the ring. That's just me, though. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I think women's boxing is in a beautiful place. Ebony Bridges, man, that was like the fight, the least fight of the quarter. So salute. You know, salute to Ebony for her win. Salute to T.O. for walking away with the win. You know what I'm saying? All wins are not pretty, man. And sometimes, and when ugly wins like that, you learn something, and you got a lot of film. Like every time you got to go look, it's like when I used to play football, I used to put that film on. You look at it, you be like, I don't want to see that. Like, it's bad technique, it's this. But those things do something for you if you learn from them. If you learn from that and you walk away with what you need to walk away with, maybe it's your back foot. Maybe it's you maybe need to learn how to put more foot pressure on and allow people to come to you, because a lot of people are going to be trying to use that fighting you in the back foot. Because they know the way you rush in. You rush in, hands down. You throw a shot. You lunge in sometimes. But, you know, it's a learning lesson. You know, hopefully, you know, you hang in there, man, and keep putting in that leg work. But I just want to go over boxing today, man, and just, you know, have a little conversation about boxing and what's going on in boxing, man. If you came through, it showed your boy some love, you know what I'm saying, then I appreciate it. You know, thanks for taking time out for sharing your thoughts, your ideas, you know, just giving the channel a gander. Don't forget, update your notifications, man. And if you're not subscribed, just subscribe. You might not have to agree with everything I say, and more than likely, you're not going to agree with everything I say. It's just a difference of opinion. It's just another angle, another look, another set of eyes. You know, so it doesn't hurt to subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, anybody that might want a difference of opinion or say, hey, man, what you think about this guy? Share the video. You know what I'm saying? Sharing is caring. You know what I'm talking about? Well, all subscribers matter. Anyway, man, thanks for coming through, man. Here at BodyWork Boxing, where we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.